completely different note of the University of Connecticut. Hey guys, welcome.
Hi, thanks for having us.
Absolutely, glad to have you. So we always start in the same place every time, the backstory. How did the group get started?
Well,
What's the origin?
Back in 1999, there were a whole bunch of choir nerds at the University of Connecticut.
We did choir nerds around here, so that's awesome.
Yeah, exactly. So they, there weren't really any all-male a cappella groups at UConn at that point. And so the members of CDN, who were all in concert choir, decided they wanted to just do a little more singing outside of rehearsal. So they worked with their teacher at the time, Dr. Bagley, and they set up a completely different note. And we, in 1999, became UConn's first all-male a cappella group.
Wow. And initially it sounds like affiliated with the choir, but no longer, I assume?
Nope. A lot of us enjoy it still for fun, but we are our own organization. We do our own thing.
Gotcha. And so these days, the a cappella scene on campus has exploded much more than then, I imagine. Are there other all-male groups on campus as well?
Yeah, at the moment there are 2 all-male groups. There are 3 all-female groups now, and 4 co-ed groups.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, the other all-male group, sort of our rivals across campus, are the con men.
Oh, okay, sure, of course. So then for you guys, why CDN? Why this group? I mean, lots of options to choose from. Why here?
I mean, for me, it was really just I auditioned for both groups. I didn't really know which one, and I just saw the family bond in this one. Not that Conman doesn't necessarily have it, but I mean, this one,
Sure.
You just felt this sense of family, this sense of that these guys are not there just to sing. We're here to be friends. We're here to be brothers. We're here to be everything for each other. And that's really, and I've found that to be completely true. So that's why I've loved this group. That's why I chose this group.
That's awesome.
And going off what Garrett says, it goes beyond just singing with each other twice a week or 3 times a week for a couple hours. I know several of us live together. I live with Tommy and Ryan, who's not here at the moment, and Joe and Ian both live together right now, with Avery moving in with them soon. So we spend an awful lot of time together, and
we really like each other.
You'd better, given the time you spent with each other, for sure. What attracted you specifically to an all-male group, to a single-sex group, as opposed to a co-ed group? There were obviously choices around that as well.
There's just with an all-male group, there's a special kind of timbre when all the guys get together.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just guys having fun together or something, but it just sounds really full and nice, and it's just a lot more fulfilling, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's take a listen to the full sound of a completely different note. Here they are with This Love. It's CDN.
I was so high I didn't recognize the fire burning in her eyes, the chaos that controlled my mind. Whispered goodbye and she got on a plane, never to return again, always in my heart. Oh, this love has taken its toll on me. She said goodbye too many times before. Oh, her heart is breaking in front of me, and I have no choice, 'cause I won't say goodbye anymore. Oh, I tried my best to feed her appetite, keep her coming every night, so hard to keep her satisfied. Oh, you're playing love like it was just a game, pretending to feel the same, turn around and leave again. Whoa, this love has taken its toll on me. She said goodbye too many times before. Oh, her heart is breaking in front of me, and I have no choice, 'cause I won't say goodbye. I'll fix these broken things, prepare your broken wings, and make sure everything's alright. Yeah, my pressure on your hips, sinking my fingertips into every inch of you, 'cause I know that's what you want me to do. This love has taken its toll on me. She said goodbye too many times before. Her heart is breaking in front of me, and I have no
sounded great. Nicely done on that. Talk about, we heard This Love, and we're going to hear a number of other songs from you guys as we spend our time together. Each of them a bit different from the other. And so I wonder, with that diversity, what's in your wheelhouse? What are you looking for in selecting a song?
Usually when we're picking a song, we think about how it's going to translate to a cappella. Mm-hmm. We found that there's no one genre that's best for a cappella. There's no one style. You can take the spirit of any song and then reinterpret it in a way that lends itself well to just a group of voices. So as a completely different note, we try to stay true to our name by, trying to draw from as many genres as possible and weaving them all together with that common thread of musicality that comes from singing a cappella.
Are there some, you talk about, there aren't specific genres that work. Are there some specific genres you found that don't, that are difficult to translate?
Sometimes rock can be a little difficult. Well, you'll be hearing this one later with Take It Easy. That one happened to translate very well. But especially when the song is very characterized by the instrumentals, sometimes you can fall a little bit into the trap of imitating the instrumentals very directly. Sure. And that's not a bad way to start, but a lot of taking it to the next level is being able to reinterpret, rearrange, and not necessarily merely marry yourself to the original instrumentals.
Yeah. Is there is the arranging all done in-house by members of the group?
For the most part, we have a couple of our arrangements are done by other members of the a cappella community around Yukon.
Oh, nice.
But the primary arrangers in the group are actually Ian and Tommy.
And how does the divvy work? So when you decide a tune, what's the death match to determine who arranges it?
Well, usually, if somebody's really inspired to arrange something, we'll respect that. If someone's like, I just have to do this, there's no question about it. I've always found that people do their best work when they're inspired to do what they're doing. Sure. I know I'm an arranger. I do arrangements that I love, arrangements I don't love so much, and it's fun. It's all growth. Yeah. But if I see somebody in the group who is really passionate about something, I give them that opportunity. Otherwise, it's first come, first serve.
Gotcha. Are there things in terms of the arrangements for this group that are idiosyncratic about doing things for this group of guys particularly?
It really comes down to what voices we have from year to year.
Yeah.
I'm a strong believer that you arrange for the group that you have. And so whether I'm arranging for CDN or arranging for a different group, I try to know what kind of voices do we have? What's the balance? What can those voices do? Mm-hmm. So the idiosyncrasies, we try to mix it up by always bringing something original to our arrangements. But what that is just going to be up in the air depending on who we've got from year to year and what our strengths are and how we play them.
Of course, that makes sense, yeah. Well, let's take a break. We're going to hear a lot more from CDN on the other side. On our way out, though, let's listen to Take It Easy. We heard reference made to it just a few moments ago. There's a lot more with these guys coming up on the other side, though. Stay with us.
Well, I've been running down the road trying to loosen my load. I got 7 women on my mind. 4 that wanna hold me, 2 that wanna stone me, 1 says she's a friend of mine. Take it easy, take it easy. Don't let the sound of your own wheels drive you crazy. Lighten up, I still can. Don't even try to understand. Just find a place to make your stand. Just to take it easy. Well, I've been standing on a corner in Winslow, Arizona. Such a fine sight to see. It's a girl, my lord, in a flatbed Ford, slowing down and take a look at me. Come on, baby, don't say maybe. I gotta know if your sweet love is gonna save me. We may lose and we may win, but we will never be here again. So open up, I'm climbing in, just to take it easy. Let's get it. Come on, baby. Don't say maybe. I gotta know if your sweet love is gonna save me. Well, I've been running down the road trying to loosen my load. I got worlds of trouble on my mind. Looking for a lover that won't blow my cover. She's just a little hard to find. Take it easy, take it easy. Don't let the sound of your own wheels drive you crazy. Come on, baby, don't say maybe. I gotta know if your sweet love is gonna save me. We gotta take it easy. We ought to take it easy. You know we got it easy.
What am I listening to? This is Deep Sharon, here to remind you that your life is so much more Aka awesome because you are listening to the one and only Acaville. Streaming 24 hours a day at Acaville.com. All voices, no instruments. Who needs them?
We're back with the guys of a completely different note. So we're talking to you. People don't know this, but we're talking to you a goodly amount of distance from your home turf. What brings you to the south?
The weather.
Nice. That is an excellent choice.
We're actually on tour. We try to do a tour pretty much every semester if we can.
Wow.
Bigger one typically is in the fall, though. I think that's kind of been the trend. But we did a tour of the South last fall, and we were able to go to everywhere from New Jersey to North Carolina to Tennessee to Nashville.
Big swing.
And this time we said, let's go further. Because why not? Because we can.
Yeah.
And it's one of those times where it's the one thing that I think sets us apart, really. It's that one thing that makes me say, you know what, this is my group. This is an incredible thing we do. And it's so fun. So we actually went to Georgetown. We came down to UNC Chapel Hill, then to Duke, and then to Georgia Tech here, and then we'll be heading up to Virginia Beach tomorrow.
Wow, it seems like a lot of travel in a short amount of time.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Because we don't already spend enough time with each other.
Of course, exactly.
In the car. Houses aren't enough. We have to actually spend time cramped in a car
as small a space as possible.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
Yes, exactly.
The smaller the better.
So you mentioned the fall tends to be the longer, sort of sweepier tour time. What does that mean for spring? What does that look like generally?
Well, in the spring, usually it's a little bit harder because our breaks tend to line up differently. So in the fall, we actually are very fortunate in this way. We don't have much of a fall break until the week of Thanksgiving. We get the entire week off.
Oh, wow.
So our plan is usually leave that Friday before our break starts and then travel for a couple days, get back before Thanksgiving. But in the spring, it tends to be that our spring break lines up with a lot of other colleges' spring breaks, so it doesn't work out as well. So actually last semester, we went to a competition at Notre Dame.
Oh.
And we did it in one weekend.
Wow.
So we flew into Chicago, took a train from Chicago out to Notre Dame, sang, hung out with the group after, met all the other groups that we were competing against, and then woke up at about 5 a.m, hopped back on a shuttle to get to the train to go back to Chicago and back home and school on Monday.
Oh my gosh. Literally planes, trains, and automobiles.
Yeah,
going on there.
Exactly.
That's impressive. What do you get from the touring experience? I mean, there's a lot of effort in what you just talked about. Why do it? Other than it being lots of time in a close container.
Well, that's exactly it. It's a lot of time close together.
Yeah.
And that if you hadn't had an opportunity this semester yet to maybe there's a member that, well, we're all friends, but there's some members that you get you don't get as much to spend as much time with.
Sure.
Maybe you don't live with them or you don't have as many classes with them. But on this tour, we have 4 straight days of just nonstop like interaction with each other to get to know each other better, ask questions that we might not have gotten the opportunity to ask yet, learn more about people, and just strengthen the bond. And that makes us even stronger going into the spring semester. And like it makes the transition when we get new guys even that much easier, just because we're all like so close knit, and they sort of just like see where they fit in with the close knit group and like join in as another stage.
Yeah, we're big believers in close friendships make for better music.
I was going to ask you how it translates then into the performance.
Yeah, it's very much whenever we perform, we like to really set ourselves apart by the fact that we want to entertain as our number one priority. So we come in and we learn all our music and we try and sound as good as possible, but the most important thing for us is that we are connecting with our audience. And that becomes a lot easier when there's a back and forth. I can do this to Garrett and he'll do that back, get a laugh from the audience. So they're like, oh, that was cool, that kind of thing. And you sort of get this nice give and take. It's a lot like playing sports to me. So like you get close enough with your teammates. And so I go left, you go right. You just know. You don't even have to say anything.
Right. It becomes more instinctual.
Exactly.
How do you then select for guys that are going to be that way? So it seems like selection then becomes really important because of all the time you're spending together, and you don't want someone very unfortunate with you in the group. So how does that work?
There's actually a long brainwashing period.
Excellent.
Ian, you go ahead.
It comes down to, when we were talking earlier about why people picked CDN, it had to do a lot with that gut feeling, right?
Yeah.
So we have our audition process, we listen to them sing, and we take time to talk to them and really try and, as best as we can in that 10, 15 minutes we have, get a feel for what kind of person they are. And at the end of the day, obviously their musicality is the bottom line, the baseline.
Sure.
But when we're making that final decision, usually we know. Usually we have a feeling right there about who's going to be a member of CDN, and that it's never really led us wrong in the past, and we're very grateful for that.
That's great. Is there an onboarding process or something that you do once people are selected to help acculturate them to what the group is going to be like?
Yeah, to a certain degree, yeah. So, when we take on new members, we obviously, they come on, they're full members of the group, they're respected just like everyone else. Sure. We're very strong on that, but we do expect them to take that first semester to really listen a lot. Because obviously they came out of high school, they were very strong musically. A lot of us were like the musicians in high school.
Right.
And coming out of that, it's sometimes hard to make the transition to thinking, okay, now I need to listen and absorb, even though I may have very good ideas.
Right. You're one of the musicians now, because everyone was at that point.
So we try to make sure when people have ideas or they have, things they're passionate about, we give them an avenue to express it. But in rehearsal, it's just listen and learn from the people around you.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's take a listen to another tune here from CDN. Let's hear them do Only the Good Die Young. And Billy Joel coming at you. It's a completely different note.
Ba-doo, ba-doo. Do, 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 do. Do, do, do. Ba-doo, ba-doo. Do, do, do.
You come out, Virginia, don't let them wait. Catholic girls start much too late. Oh, but sooner or later it comes down to faith. Might as well be the one. Well, they showed you a statue, told you to pray. Built you a temple and locked you away. Oh, but they never told you the price that you pay for being the only one. You're only the good die young. That's what I said, darling. You're only the good die young. Only the good die young. You might have heard I run with a dangerous crowd. We ain't too pretty, we ain't too proud. Might be singing a bit too loud. I never heard no one. So come on, Virginia, you show me a sign. Send up a signal, I'll throw you a line. Stained glass curtain you're hiding behind never lets in the sun. Darling, only the good die young. You're only the good die young. You're only the good die young. Only the good die young. You got a nice white dress and a body on your confirmation. Yeah, you got a brand new soul and a cross Virginia, they didn't give you quite enough information. Yeah, you didn't count on me when you were counting on your rosary. Whoa, see, there's a heaven for those who wait. Some say it's better, but I say it ain't. I'd rather laugh with the sinners than cry with the saints. The sinners are much more fun. Darling, only the good die young. That's what I said. Only the good die young. Only the good die young. Well, your mother told you all that I could give you was a reputation. Yeah, she never cared for me. But did she ever say a prayer for me? Come out. Virginia, don't let 'em wait. You Catholic girls start much too late. But sooner or later it comes down to faith. Might as well be the one. You're only the good die young. Yeah, that's what I said, darling. You're only the good die young. Only the good die young. You're only the good die young. Only the good. You're only the good die young. Only the good die young.
That was great. That was a lot of fun. Nicely done on that, for sure. Well, one of the other things that, in addition to touring, that some groups choose to spend time on as well is recording. And I know that's something, obviously, that you have done in the past with First Class, let's see, it was about 4 years ago, I guess, something like that. Is there something ahead in that regard? Do you have thoughts about that moving forward?
Well, most recently, in a couple semesters ago, we finished our most recent album, Off the Record.
Oh, Off the Record, of course. Right.
So that was what year was last year? That was a 2015 release,
right.
I was thinking. But for this coming semester, we're starting to plot and plan and hatch and apply for funding and start looking at vendors.
Yeah.
Because, this year's been really, really strong, and we want to find a way to tie it all together and have something that our seniors can walk away with and say, we took part in this.
I was going to ask you sort of what the decision-making process is around that, because it seems like it's necessarily a long lead time thing because of the funding, particularly. It's not an inexpensive process. So,
nope.
How do you determine that sort of now is the time to do this?
Well, usually it's somewhat cyclical. So we try to do an album typically every 2 years. That way, if someone has a 4-year span at CDN, they have the opportunity to be at least one album, maybe two. So when the time is right, when we know we have that sound, when we all say, hey, we've got a really good repertoire of songs that are diverse that we could put on a CD, and as that time comes along, we make a move.
And when we also have the money.
Right. Of course, exactly. Do you, when picking rep for an album, is that a different process? Because it seems like, you're memorializing something, so the stakes are a little different.
To some extent, usually we take the songs that were not only songs that we get good reactions from, but the songs that mean the most to us. So we have had songs that we've only done in the group for maybe a semester at a time, but they just were either just a great arrangement and we really enjoyed it, or the crowd really enjoyed it and we knew that was something that people would want to hear on our record. Mm-hmm. That's usually the kind of thing that goes into those processes.
And when in the cycle does that happen? I mean, so if you're sort of working backwards from a release time and then you've got the sort of the studio time, when do you start narrowing down to what's going to be there?
I'd say it's probably one of the – I think that having a song list is one of the first things that we do, because we want to know, okay, if we want to record an album, what are we going to record?
Right.
So usually we have a list, and I think the last time we did it, we started at like 13 songs, but whittled it down to about 10.
Oh, okay.
So
you had some wiggle room then, kind of going in if there were some that didn't feel right in terms of that context. What's ahead? You have a rich history, being the first group of your nature on campus. What do the next few years hold, do you think? I mean, recording, obviously, it sounds like is a part of that, but what else?
World domination.
Excellent. Excellent. You're well on your way, clearly. You started with the South, I noticed, and you're working to other parts.
Move west, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We strongly believe that every year we build on our successes. It's not just obviously when you're an a cappella group and you're in college, just turnover, and that's fine and that's natural and that's wonderful. But we try to take the successes, the wins we have each year, and try to build a little bit further every year. So what we're interested in doing for the upcoming year is not only putting out an album, but working on, bringing our performance up to the next level, even beyond where we're at, getting more used to, performing on microphones. So for competition settings, or just like putting together a really entertaining final concert. So it's always just forward movement, incremental progress, and that's really where it's at. It's not about the leaps and bounds, because there's always going to be leaps in a cycle. If you can average out a trajectory, then you're on the right track.
Well, that process has certainly worked well for you so far. So the
so.
evidence is strong in that regard. Well, guys, I appreciate you carving out a little time on your tour and spending it with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having us.
Absolutely. Well, let's wrap up our time with a completely different note. With Popular Thing. Here they are. It's CDN.
Do 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 ba do 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 do. Oh, here's to the mornings, to the evenings. Pack your bags, babe, 'cause we are leaving. Don't you say no, 'cause I know that you want to go. Oh, believe me, out west, babe, out west with the best. We'll go fast and we'll go faster yet. Don't you worry, I've been there before. And so is everybody else. Everybody's doing it. Some mark on your skin, something that you like. Some praise or symbol that might better say who you were at that time in your life. Everybody else, everybody's doing it. And if you want to do the popular thing, oh, you can't follow away. And if you want to find something unique, oh, you can't look that way. 'Cause if you give it any more than a peek, oh, well, you will have changed. Because everybody's doing it. So have a kiss, babe, one little kiss, and you will never, ever, ever, ever miss it. 'Cause when you get kissed, you also get to kiss. And one thing leads to another, but don't prematurely make her a mother. Make sure that you love her till death do you part. Everybody else, everybody's doing it. And if you want to do the popular thing, oh, you can't follow away. And if you want to find something unique, oh, you can't look that way. 'Cause if you give it any more than a peek, oh, well, you will have changed. Because everybody else, everybody's doing it. Do 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 da 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 da. Oh, look now, there's a graveyard. You'll be in one, like it or not. You can't pick when, but you can pick your lot, because everybody else, everybody's doing it. And if you want to do the popular thing, oh, you can't follow away. And if you want to find something unique, oh, you can't look that way. 'Cause if you give it any more than a peek, oh, well, you will have changed. Because everybody else, everybody's doing it.
You're listening to community-supported Acaville Radio, streaming a cappella around the clock at acaville.org. Acaville, where vocal music is our forte.